everybody, and welcome back to Beloved Grace. I am your host, Mirona Snagay. Episode 2, you guys. I'm so excited. This is so crazy. Oh my gosh. So, one thing I have to say, a disclaimer for sure. This episode, I was filming it to have an introduction about me and just kind of like share what my experiences are and where I'm at in life right now. But I just feel like the Lord took it in a different turn, and this episode is going to be completely different. But listening to it again, I just saw that's who I am, and that's how I operate. And so listening to that will give you a glimpse of like how the Lord kind of speaks to me, right? And how I see the Lord work in my life. And so I just pray that it encourages you and challenges you as well. And so please listen in and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for joining the second episode. And I want to talk to you today about the idea of having or a room being available for everybody. What does that mean and what inspires me? In addition to my support system and people encouraging me to be obedient, there's one thing that I felt like the Lord had to drill down in my spirit about stepping out on faith to this journey, is the fact that there's room for everybody and that what God has for me was for me. I had to come to grips with the fact that like what God has given me is for me, and that I stand witness to the talents and to the time that He's given me, and that whenever I die, if it's tomorrow, literally, right? Because tomorrow's not promised. Whenever I die and I be with the Lord, He is gonna ask me what I've done with the time that He's given me, and I have to stand in front of Him and answer to what I've done with the time that I have, with the gift that He's given me, with the people He surrounded me with. My answer cannot be, I was too concerned about what people are going to say about what I have to say, or the lack of information I have, or the lack of identity or insecurity I felt, or the idea that I needed to please everybody and my need to be accepted and affirmed by other people cannot be the excuse for me not living out my purpose, living a life that is authentic to myself. And so in 2020, where it seems like everybody has so much things going on, they have podcasts, they have YouTube channels, they have social media platforms, they have actual platforms, they have churches, whatever they are doing, it seems like I was just one out of a billion. More like I am one out of 8 billion. And so I was very insecure about it, right? Like I just couldn't understand why me, like what do I have to say about anything? And so, but then I needed to realize there are people that we are called to reach in whatever scale. If it's 2 people today or 2 million tomorrow, that idea of you have to be a good steward of what's given to you is your responsibility, not mine, right? And vice versa. What I'm called to do is my responsibility, and I can't make excuses to mask my fears, right? And so that was one thing that I really had to learn and to trust the Lord to do this YouTube channel thing, right? To be part of this YouTube family. That I needed to surrender all of my ideas. I needed to surrender the fact that I don't have everything together. I don't have all the answers. I'm not as educated in theology as I wanted to be, and I don't sound maybe like one of my idols, right? Like one of the people that I look up to in our generation. And I'm not called to be like them. And so my today's episode, I really want to encourage you, right? Before you even get to know me, this is my heart. My heart is for you to say that if she can do it, so can I. That idea of God has called you to do the things that He has called you to do. I don't know what it is. It might be a YouTube channel. It might be a podcast. It might be writing. It might be just nothing. But you have to be obedient to what God is calling you to do. Along with the fear. The fear comes. I'm not comfortable doing these videos. I don't feel comfortable and great about sitting in front of a camera in my empty apartment and say whatever. But this is the thing that just burns in my skin. I could not let it go. I felt like the Lord wouldn't let this go for me. And so what is that thing that you always think about, right? That's always in the forefront of your mind, right? Like the Holy Spirit is like nudging at you and saying, hey, this person, hey, this thing, hey, this business, whatever it is, you have to do it, right? Is it you praying and being obedient to the Lord and praying for your coworker? Is it you discipling? Everybody's called to be a disciple of Christ. And so are you pouring into your community, the people that are around you, your friends, your family, your siblings? Are you doing those things? Like, we all don't have to have a camera. But if you choose to do it that way, be obedient to that. And so that is my heart. So when you get to know me, I want to encourage you to say, I am literally a nobody. Like a girl from a developing country. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. It is by the God's grace that I'm here, right? If I'm here and sitting talking to you, a nobody, God will give you something, and He's already given you a lot, and you have to be obedient to that. And so I'm encouraging you. At the same time, I'm challenging you to say, like, literally in this pandemic, we no longer have an excuse not to be obedient to the Lord. Not to be famous, not to be known, not to be a character, not to be this, persona, but to be a child of God that is obedient to the Father. And it took me a long time to do that. And I still struggle because I like control. But I am encouraging you and challenging you to say there is room for everybody. There is room for your gifts. There's room for your talents. And use them. Be obedient to the Lord. There's more people to be reached. There's more gospel that needs to be preached. And so that is why we are here, right? For us to be able to glorify the Lord that is in heaven. What is your good works? What is the thing that God has called you to do that you're not doing? You should be able to do that. Be obedient. Go out and do what you are called to do, right? And yeah, be the hand and feet of the Lord. So I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining me again. Can't wait to share more. Please ask questions and I would love to answer them.